Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The King, your Majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Hey, everybody. How are y'all today once again on Victory Monday? I mean, good grief. I said last week that I couldn't get tired of doing this, and I still don't feel like I'm tired of doing this. I can't wait to do this some more. We are now 7-5. Gentlemen, what do you think of that?
From 1-4 to 7-5.
That's right. 1-4 to 7-5. That, by the way, it was my best friend there, Jesse Martin, who just finished killing a couple of small dogs. It's amazing we can't. I'm glad you wore the rubber gloves. So how did you think about the victory yesterday, Jesse?
Yeah, no, it was it was an exciting ending of the game. And little story, we'll keep it short. I actually turned the TV off when they got to the goal line. I was pissed. I came out. I was throwing shit, and then the feed on Twitter, because it's people are tweeting live. JP Finley was said like capital letters, wow, and I go back, turn it on just in time to see the ball being tipped in the air by Deron Payne and Kendall Fuller intercepting it, and it was great.
My man Jesse was all the goal line.
Always.
There's no time.
But I never had a doubt. I never had a doubt in my mind.
Marcus Mariota's been kicking our ass all day.
That we were going to win this game.
That extra point's gonna bite us.
It is.
It's gonna kill us.
It was. It almost did. It almost did. It was like a fingernail away from biting us in the ass.
This game is trash.
We stink. My God, we should just throw it all away for Spencer Rattler.
I can't believe I banned for this game. All they do is let me down.
I don't even want a TV anymore. This thing's nothing but a misery machine. Oh my
I could have
God.
been watching Pornhub instead. At least I don't get disappointed then.
JP Finley says I should turn the TV on. All right, so
Especially when they come up short.
And also down there joining us on time today, international television sensation Keith Gray. You had your chance yesterday to be on TV, but I noticed they didn't show the hog farmers even once yesterday, and I have a feeling I know why.
That's not true. They did. They showed
They
Joe.
did? They showed Joe,
and it was they showed Mr. Joe Hall. It was, it was pretty nice. Like, I'm like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, I didn't see him. I didn't see him at all. I saw the rally captain. I didn't see any of the hog farmers.
Yeah, because I got into the chat. I knew that they wouldn't see it until after the game because they don't, they always pick on me about being on my phone during the game. But I even chat because, since I've joined, one of the biggest things I told these guys is, and it's the reason why I did it, was I don't particularly like to put the team's logo on the front of the bibs. I have a passion for the team, but I'm not doing this charity work for the team. I'm doing it for the hog farmers. And that's the brand and logo that I would, truly would want to represent. So, with that being said, I have been fighting. And now that I'm on the board, we're going to have a meeting and we are going to do a vote because I truly believe that we need to and we got a new logo. We need to put our logo in the front. So that way, if you are getting TV time, not everybody knows who the hog farmers are, but man, it's a beautiful logo. It's
especially
really cool.
Since, honestly, I see other people wearing your shit now.
There's been a few that do, like the bibs.
Dude, not just the bibs. I saw a dude with the hog farmer patch on it too. So I don't know.
We know who that is. Okay. I know who you're talking
I don't want
about.
to cast any aspersions towards anybody, but yeah, I agree with you. And here's my vote.
Listen,
put it right there, front and center.
Yeah, and listen, last year, that guy was living his life, boy. There was a line waiting for him. It was actually the last game of the season against the Eagles. We were leaving, and my man had a line of people wanting to take pictures of him. I didn't say nothing. Yeah, with him, because they thought he was a hog farmer, and my man was just living his best life. So you know what? Hey, look, live your best life, man. we have no quarrels. It is what it is. But I agree. The logo needs to be right here because that's truly what we represent. And I tell these guys, I don't want to be known as a super fan. You put the team logo in the front, people are just going to think that you're dressing up goofy, but there is a reason why we dress goofy, and it's for that logo that we do charity work for. And that's, I'm telling you, if you would have seen Joe, it was the perfect camera view from basically waist up, and it shows him like staring out into the field. Man, that logo would have been beautiful, and to me, that was a missed opportunity.
What's up, Ken?
Welcome everybody in the chat. We got our brothers from across the pond, Andy and Scott, and we got a new one in the chat, Kenneth Melton. Welcome. How you doing?
What's up, guys? And thank you for the Bears support. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Bears, big win. It's a double win for. There's Yam. It's a double win for Keith this weekend as his son's team played in the championship game, and they won. And I got to tell you, that trophy was just about as big as Cameron. And you got to be a proud papa, just growing up and my son going through sports, and it's a proud moment when you see them on the field and accomplishing something of that feat. I think it's great, man. So congratulations to you.
Yeah, appreciate that. A quick little story, because I know this isn't a Bears podcast, but
not yet.
Quick story.
We've got a guest today.
The 75 pounders, we only had 6 kids sign up. It was like 6 to 8 kids, I believe, that signed up, and we didn't even know if we were going to have a season. And let's be honest, the age 6 age group, a lot of parents don't want to put their kids that early into football, and it's completely understandable, right? So my wife had to actually work hard, had to go out in social network and talk to people that she knew that had kids that would have some interest in. And get enough kids to play. And boy, did we. And it came last minute. And I would say 9 out of the 12, maybe 10 out of the 12, let's just go with 9 out of the 12, actually had played football before. So they kind of knew, or I'm sorry, 9 out of the 12 had never played before. So you're literally teaching these kids from scratch. And so to watch the progression of all these kids at this age do things that they've never had to do before. And let me tell you, Cameron never had to tackle, never had to get hit. This was all new to him. And let me tell you, as a parent, when you're watching him cry because he's never felt a hit before, or he's never hit, those things hurt. He doesn't know what it feels like. And so when it happens for the first time, we had to deal with just slight little bit of crying, but he toughed it out. We didn't force him to do anything he didn't want to do. He got back out there, and we just watched this little kid progress, man. And it was really fun to see this. It was really fun. I didn't mind missing this game, even though, man, that's a hell of a game to miss, yesterday with the Falcons. But, like any good parent,
priorities.
It's an easy decision. You're going to do what your kid's doing. And
right.
Sure.
Man, we're going to have Cameron on in a little while. We're going to talk to him about his big victory. That's going to be
I'll tell you, when I called him on the phone to see if, he could fit us in, his interview and schedule, because when they win championships, he's
right. He's
everybody's after on ESPN, Fox, so I asked him, did he have some time? Yeah, he gave me short answers, and he seemed like, he'd been doing this all day. So I don't know what we're going to get out of it, but we do have a champion that we're going to get to interview.
Well, I'll tell you what, close your eyes for a second and see if this doesn't sound like ESPN to you.
Coming up next, 75-pound champion Cameron Gray.
That air announcer doesn't have the big booming.
He's got that mousy little voice.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So we are here to talk about the Commanders for one thing. We are now 7-5. How many
7-5?
Left hand up if you thought this was possible when we were 1-4. Anybody? Yeah, ain't no hands going.
No.
Except maybe Andy.
No.
Andy's in here. Andy, the ultimate homer. Oh yeah, bro. I saw it coming.
I saw this.
Well, I saw this coming from a mile away.
I never doubted.
That's right. All right. So initial thoughts, Keith. What were your initial? I guess you didn't see the game, right? Did you watch the replay? Okay. So initial
No,
thoughts
it
on
was
the game.
televised. I got home in time to where I was able to see the game. It just wasn't enough time for me to drive out there to get to it.
I got you.
Yeah. So my initial reaction to the game. I mean, it was going toe to toe. I mean, at one point, it was at 10-10, and I'm thinking, this is definitely this definitely can get scary. We got into third and fourth quarter. I mean, obviously, everyone knows how it played out. You kind of you're on your toes. You're thinking this is it. And of course, when Mariota had the ball down at the goal line, you're thinking it's the Redskin way or the Commander way, and this is what we do. We're going to give up a touchdown, game over. I mean, why not? I don't think there was a single fan that thought that we would stop that. Catch that, get that interception to help in the game.
Hey,
so
I knew it was going to happen. It was going to happen right away. The wrong pipe going to stick his hand up there. Can't do it full of come down with the ball.
Yeah, and so it went from roller coaster nail biter as usual. We're used to the nail biters to complete excitement. And happy, man. We're 7-5.
What about you, Jesse? What do you think? Your reaction
look,
to the game? Other than the fact that you turned it off before it was over.
I did, but I mean, I saw the
Jesse
exciting
is my
ending.
dad, man. The way he reacts, it's just like, dude, it's like talking.
I'm terrible.
When I was reading the text yesterday, I was literally looking
so
up at
mad.
the sky and being like, "Hey, Dad, I'm sure you're living through Jesse right now." No one hated a team more than the team he loved. I mean, it was just unreal. But go ahead.
Yeah, it's a definite love-hate relationship when we're talking about the Washington Redskins / Commanders. But look, my thoughts on coming into the game. I thought this was going to be a really, really tough game. The Falcons could put up some points by controlling the ball. They like to do what we have been so good at for the past few weeks is control the clock and is run the hell out of the ball. And to be honest with you, we were getting gashed. And Marcus Mariota was taking it to us. And hats off to Jack Del Rio. They made some crucial adjustments. They started to play a little bit better. But yeah, I was worried the whole game. I was like, someone put a fucking hat on Marcus Mariota because he was just, 10, 12, 7 yards every time he touched, every time he decided to run that read option.
The running backs were killing us too.
Because, the end would crash down and they were crashing down every single time. And defending the read option is really, really hard, especially when you don't do it that much. In the NFL, they don't really run the read option all that much. But it was, up until the end. I started feeling really good around the third quarter. Once that Bates touchdown, I was like, okay, I think we got this. And then that last drive that the Falcons did, they were able to get the running game going again. And
it wasn't just that. I mean, go ahead, finish.
And I just got that sick feeling. And right when they got down to inside the 5-yard line, I was like, turn it off. And I was looking at the Twitter feed. And then I saw, JP Finley's like capital letters, wow. And I was like, oh shit, something must have happened. And I rushed back and turn the TV back on. And since there's a delay, because he's looking at this real time, and there's usually a 30-second to a minute delay, just depending upon what provider that you have. I saw the ball was in the air, and I saw Daron Payne's hand up, tip the ball, and Fuller come down with it. And I was like, this team just finds ways to win.
That's right. They find a way to win. Now my initial impression of the game was not only did they gash us in the running game, they found openings in the passing game. They didn't do it too much, but dude, on that last drive, that 45-yard pass, put them down there. Holy shit. They were finding holes all over the place. They found things that other teams had been missing. And I noticed, go ahead. You had an if.
No, I was just saying if Marcus Mariota was a better passer, we might be having a different conversation right now.
Right. And I'll say this. those read options that he was running. I mean, Jesus Christ, we bit on that thing like a freaking fish 5 times. All right. And they're sending that fullback through the hole ahead of Mariota. It's a whole, they knew they were going to run it before. Mariota's like, fuck it. As soon as he sees which way Smith Williams was going to go, he take that ball. He ran right through that hole 5 times. So I kept saying all
which
day
was
long,
absolutely impressive. Because I mean, obviously we have a stout run defense, and they weren't afraid of it, and they punched us in the mouth.
They had
quite a bit.
that's what they've been doing. They've been doing that all year round, even to the San Francisco 49ers, which is the best run defense in the league. They put up even more yards against them. It's just they lack in so many other areas. That's why they don't have a better record than they do, because they've been losing games just like yesterday.
Well, hey, you know what?
Listen, the Falcons are a very, very well coached team, being so deep in dead cap. They weren't able to go, but watch out. The Falcons are on the rise. Give it a couple years. Let their money get right and get themselves a quarterback. Watch out. The Falcons are going to be a team, because Arthur Smith is a good coach.
Well, it depends on if he can survive a couple of years. That's a lifetime in the NFL for a coach who's not winning. But the fact of the matter,
these guys were expected to win 2 or 3 games this year.
Oh, I know they're expected to be one of the worst football teams that there is.
Yeah.
We won on a prayer, a miracle, right? And that's great. But here we go again. And I'll tell you who watched Marcus Mariota run those goddamn read options was Daniel Jones, just sitting there on his goddamn couch with his clicker in his hand going, God dang, that sure doesn't look easy. You know what? And the difference being is Daniel Jones will house that motherfucker. He will put that son of a bitch in the end zone. He is not going to get tackled 14, 15 yards downfield like you saw Mariota getting tackled. He's a lot faster. The Vanilla Vic, as Saquon Barkley calls him. So I did my initial impression, let me finish my initial impression first.
Sorry.
Is this sloppy win? Wake up. You can't do that shit, Taylor Heineke. You can't have 130 yards passing. Okay, not now. Now we come to the
second.
We got two games against the Giants, a game against the Cowboys, the 49ers,
and the Browns.
Well, yeah, okay, but these 4 games, right? Those 4 games, they decide your fate. You've got it's in their hands, right? Seattle lost yesterday, so it's in their hands. They control their own destiny. But you can't do that shit. You can't throw interceptions like that one he threw yesterday, and the second one, that was dropped. He had another one that was dropped. All right, we'll get to it. That's my initial impression. So let's get to Taylor Heineke. Keith, go ahead. You're first.
Yeah, so I've said the past few weeks and the past few episodes that it's great that we're winning games, but we got to get those stats up. We got to get in the end zone in order to sustain success against better teams than the teams that we're playing currently. Yesterday you take a look at his stats once again. I mean, yes, he did throw 2 balls. He did throw 2 touchdowns. Was it 2 or 3? Was it 3?
I just want to say
it was 2.
I like this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he did throw, 1 debates, and then Robinson Jr. ran one in as he caught, he caught it. So
it was a great run.
Oh,
he's going to get the scepter tomorrow.
Save that for attaboys, because I'm coming.
Good Morning Football is going to talk about him.
I shouldn't
they
have
do
said
that angry
that
runs. That angry runs segment. He's going to get the scepter tomorrow.
Oh yeah. But listen, 135 yards still ain't going to do it. You're going to need. You're obviously going to need more than that. So I can appreciate that we stepped it up a little bit and we were, throwing balls, in the end zone. But again, missing that extra point could have come back to hurt us. It didn't, thankfully.
Bad weather.
True. That's true. That's true. But I guess my point is we got to build leads, and it's something Taylor Heineke does not do. And so I really think what it boils down to is my argument before was, and maybe I'm just not giving the guy enough credit. I don't know what it is. I'm not a believer. I'm happy with the wins. And maybe it's not just his stats necessarily, but this guy's got to learn to build on the momentum and build leads. Okay, now I understand that it's not going to happen every single game. I truly do. But my thing is that you got to be better. 135 yards against a good team isn't going to cut it.
No. Well,
I mean, it has been.
I had a thought, and it was about Daniel Jones.
Right.
How does it? Right? They weren't letting him throw either.
So I'm just to the point where I'm like, the only thing I can think of at this point is that we're going to roll with this guy until he messes up. But I think when he messes up, it's going to be too late. Wentz is going to come in. Wentz may come in. Wentz is going to need a game just to get back into the game mode. I don't think in any situation that we currently have right now, as much as I think that Wentz is, the better QB, I'm not sure that we have the guy that can get us where we need to go, but I can appreciate these wins. And I think that I'm just going to, kind of leave it at that. I've probably made no sense whatsoever.
It's the same thing every week. We say the same thing every week, which is he's got limitations and we'll just take this win and see what happens next time.
And that's what we're doing. But the limitations, like I said, are right.
They're frustrating because they're leaving a lot on the field.
They are leaving a lot.
If he would just throw the ball on time. Time.
And his decision making too. I noticed he's not running when he's feeling the pressure. He's not doing what he's best at. And I'm not going to say he's best at running. I know it's so hard to talk and read at the same time. Anyways, it's like I can't walk and chew gum either.
God dang Florida institution, boy.
Yeah, hey, that's Florida education for you. Anyways, I guess the point I'm trying to make is I feel like when Heineke gets into trouble, what would get him out of trouble was he would use his legs. Now, whether that means that
no more.
He does it. It almost like see, I don't think he's been told not to. I think so that because I think it's because his, the way he is and his mentality, he's looking at every game as his last. I almost feel like, which is crazy to say because you only really have 3 seconds or less to make a decision. I feel like he overthinks his decisions because he's afraid of letting the team down. And I think that plays in the back of his head every time he's out on the field. Because I think himself, I'm not sure he's a believer in himself either.
No, I think he
You think he's a believer of himself?
I think he believes in himself maybe sometimes a little bit too much.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of
you can't get to where he is without believing in yourself. Nah,
I guess. I guess so. I'll walk back on that. I'll basically just finish up by saying I think what's happening with him now is he's overthinking a lot of his decisions, which is weird because, like I said, you only have 3 seconds or less to make a decision. But I think he's overthinking them because he's afraid of letting the team down.
Well, mediocre Jesus. I'm going to give credit to credit's due.
I thought it was mediocre Jesus.
Mediocre Jesus,
the guy that built my deck.
Started off well. Completed 5 of 5. Drove down the field. Scored 2 touchdowns in the game. Past 2 games, he did not throw any touchdowns. Yards are still down. What the problem is I think you're right, Keith. I think he has confidence in himself in some areas, and some switch starts to flipping him. Like what the fuck was he doing throwing that ball where there was 4 defenders around Jahan Dotson? He had no business throwing that ball.
He makes stupid decisions, yeah.
But then you have a wide open Terry McLaurin. He escapes the rush. He's got plenty of time because the rush is gone. I mean, he all he had to do is just set his feet and go. I think he panics. And that's when he gets himself into like a little frenzy. And that's, he doesn't set his feet, or he waits just a second too long to throw the ball. And the way Turner is calling this game right now, he's calling it to try to limit mistakes from Taylor Heineke, and it's working for now.
It is.
It's working for now, but it's not. I seriously do not think it's sustainable.
No,
especially if we somehow get into the playoffs.
I don't think.
I think we have the talent. I think we have the talent on this team, from the defense to even the offense. The way the offensive line played yesterday, I mean, you could have a statue like Matt Ryan just stand back there and pick a team apart. I can't put a finger on exactly what's going on with Heineke,
I have
especially
one.
with him not running, because there was multiple times yesterday he could have ran for the first down.
Yep.
Maybe even that one play to Terry, he could have maybe squeezed in for the touchdown if he would have ran that ball. This is not just the game yesterday. This goes back weeks where the opportunity is there and he's just not not taking it.
I'll tell you, I said for a minute ago that maybe he's been told not to. And the fact of the matter is, with Wentz inactive, maybe he has been told, look, if you can throw it, throw it. But he is playing kind of tentative. My problem with him is the same problem that's always been with him, is he does not correct mistakes. When he throws on time, what I think they really need to do is limit his reads, because if he stands back there, he throws too late. If he stands back there and does his, I'm Taylor, I'm surveying the field, it's like every defensive back goes, whoa, okay, there was the move that I need to get back up on. And by that time, the ball is there, and they're making a play on it. So
Terry's open, Samuel's open.
It's almost like he watches ESPN after the game, and he reads Twitter, and he reads what people are analyzing, and so he goes into the next game almost trying to not do those things. But unfortunately, the trying too hard. I mean,
you might be right. You might be right, but I hope that.
Right.
I mean, it's like I'm sure he doesn't. I mean, it's
mind-boggling sometimes. Just going back on the interception. I mean, he had two wide open. I mean, Samuel and Gibson could not get more open than they were. And he was just trying to take the whole bite of the apple.
Right.
And
he gets the Rex
not
Grossman
sure what he's seeing.
Fucking bullshit. Oh, I can fit it right in there. I like the confidence, but stupidity and confidence usually equals getting fucking killed. I'll tell you what, though, as far as Taylor Heineke, I want to kind of wrap up on him real quick. We say this every damn week. What are we going to do? He keeps winning. What are you going to do?
Yeah. The team,
the Giants. If he beats the Giants, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
It's a tough position to be in.
Especially that they're starting to get healthy.
It's a tough position to be in because, again, you potentially have your guy who you could actually use, who I feel is the better quarterback, sitting in the bench, and chances are he's probably not going to take as long as things go well. I'm not sure that Wentz is going to take another snap with Washington, next year. So then what? It puts us back into the same position that we're in, because it's obvious. It's obvious, that Heineke is a QB too. There's no way Rivera's going to say, you know what, this guy got us to the playoffs. We're going to take him. We're going to take him, and he's going to be QB1 next year. What if he gets us to the playoffs
and wins a playoff game? What if he wins a divisional playoff game? I mean,
I can see it happening, but again, we're winning despite of Heineke. We're winning by good play by the defense. We're winning
but he'll still get the credit.
by Terry making miraculous fucking catches.
There are intangibles.
We're winning by Brian Robinson freaking steamrolling motherfuckers. We're winning by Gibson. Getting the crease and shooting up, the sideline. We're not winning by Taylor Heineke throwing them with time. We're not winning by Taylor Heineke throwing for 300 yards and 3 TDs. That's not.
He can't throw for 300 yards in 3 games, dude.
Yeah.
You know what's saving him? What's saving them is the 1-2 combination of Gibson.
It's the
and
running
Robinson.
back. Yeah, this is old school football.
Both
3 yards in a cloud of dust is what it is.
Both Yam and Scott brought up a really good point. That's really, really fucking frustrating, because the man that was on fire in the beginning of the season before he got hurt was Jahan Dotson, I don't know why we're not. He is a red zone, end zone magnet. This goes back in to his Penn State days. I do not know why we're not looking for him.
Because we start with looking for Terry first.
I think it's something that
Wentz didn't do. Wentz looked at whoever the open man was.
He started with both of them at the same time. I don't think Heineke knows Dotson like he knows Terry. And I think that's got part of it.
He doesn't, but the fact remains, you got to use.
It could also be that Dotson's not really totally healthy yet either. You know, it could be.
I don't know. I've
his
seen him
Andy's
open
kind
quite
of,
a few times, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Scott Turner is scheming these wide receivers open. They're doing these double crosses that he's doing. I mean, they're you could.
I know.
If
The good
if
news is
Heineke
that
could just throw on time, they could just eat.
I feel like the only reason why Samuel's getting action is because they're utilizing him with the run game. So,
the good news is that Turner sees this and he's not putting 40 passes off for Heineke's hand.
Yeah,
we were able to control the game.
That's
with the
exactly why we're running the ball 40 times instead of passing the ball 40
that
times.
We're able.
He knows the limitations, and you know, listen, in the quarterback discussion on this, I like I've been saying, I kind of want Wentz to play behind the team. That's the way that they're playing right now. I want to see what that looks like.
Yam actually brought up a very good point on Dotson.
About the rapport.
Yeah.
No,
I still don't rapport with him in training camp. Makes total sense.
Right. Terry was having that little contract.
I get that. But they need to they need to fucking close that gap is what I'm trying to say. They need to figure out a way because he is a playmaker. And what do you do on the field? You get your playmakers the ball.
Absolutely.
I did enjoy seeing Bates score though.
Yeah, no, that was great. Listen,
I enjoyed seeing anybody
last
score.
year. Bates was great. You know, he's not always the first option, but Jahan Dotson actually made that play work right there because he got the defensive backs to roll out with him and left Bates open. So that was a really good play. That was a really good design. And kudos to Heineke. I'm praising him right now because that was a really good pass. He put the proper touch on it, and it was on time and on target. But there's a lot of plays out there just like that to be made. That's not being made. Well,
I'm glad that they're limiting him. All right, so let's get over to the defensive side. I don't have a whole lot of time today, but the defense, I hate to use the word exposed yesterday, but they did get handled pretty well. All right. The defensive line was
I think they were caught off guard.
They were caught a little bit off guard, but I think that the Falcons also did things that were smart, like, hey, let's triple team this guy 93 and let's double team 94 and see if anybody else can come through there and beat us. And it worked for him. All right. Mariota was able to keep them a little bit on their heels. I think James Smith-Williams was on skates most of the day. He only had a play or two where I thought that he really stood out and made a difference. Because most of the time, that was where they were pulling to, man, and they were catching him like that. I was glad to see that they were able to keep Cordarrelle Patterson under wraps. Man, I tell you what, that one time they threw that one chance of that bubble screen for him where he's been so effective, and frickin' Fuller blew it up. Just blew it up. So kudos on to them for that.
I'm going to put a big hairy, but I know, you know, seeing them get gashed like that.
What did he say?
Not, I'll put a
big hairy butt.
Yeah. I know seeing them get gashed like that wasn't very fun. I was pissed off. I was like, damn, these guys are getting punked. But when it was time to make a play, they did more times than not. And they still kept They still kept the score. They only allowed them to score 13 points.
Absolutely.
You take that for what it's worth. Yesterday, it wasn't their best game, but it was a bend but don't break defense, and they still, you know, they kept an NFL team to 13 points.
That's something people are paying attention. I mean, this
finally,
this current streak that we're on. People are paying attention. They think, you know, we have national media. Ooh, what is that?
I don't know.
New site with hot girls.
Oh my God. Hey, brother, got some new site here with some hot girls. Got to do a new podcast. It's a hot girl bunker here.
Goodness gracious. Jesse bringing in his friends.
I have no idea. It's not on my YouTube, nice. John.
Jesus Christ. It might be on mine. I don't know. All right. So let me see here. Okay. So defensively, I think you're right. They got opened up a little bit. They got handled a little bit, but they managed to wash it all out. It's like you take that big blow, but by the time it's finished, it's not anywhere near the end zone. They had a couple of shots. I mean, granted, they scored. They scored a touchdown. But they got down there to the one, and we stopped them at the end of the game. But other than that, they did a lot of smash, but it never really got anywhere. It just always would peter out. We'd stop them, and that was that. I liked it.
Yeah, no. I think one player that really stood out on Davis was Jamin Davis, man.
Yep.
Mhm.
Name called all game. He was all over the field.
He really stood out.
Yep.
I'm extremely proud of him and how we've seen him grown throughout the season. All the shit that was talked on him, and we have, pretty much had his back and given him the time to develop into. He's starting to develop into a really, really good linebacker.
I wouldn't say that everyone's had his back. I mean, they were willing to deal him for a bag.
No, I'm talking about on this podcast.
Everybody.
I'm just talking about us three.
I got you.
We never
smart people.
Well, no, I'm not that smart.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't want to take a whole lot of time here because we do have a guest that's going to come on today, and I want to talk about the Sean Taylor kerfuffle yesterday. Let's just get quick impressions. Keith, did you see the unveiling?
I did. So my quick impression on it when I first saw it was I really liked the case that it was in. The display they did a great job with that.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, the only thing that I didn't like is I felt like it could have just been a little bit more authentic. And if they had game worn, they could have used, the game worn uniform to just put a little bit more of authenticity. I didn't understand why they went with the Reebok pants. They must have had a pair. Maybe they were his. I don't know. They had a Reebok pair of pants, but then put a new Nike jersey. So I don't think this was rushed by any means. I think that it was thought out by the family. That was their vision. But I do feel like we could have made it look better in the sense. I think a lot of people were confused because they thought statue as opposed to.
They never said statue. Never expect.
They never said statue.
I didn't know what
said memorial, and a memorial typically is something that is more than that.
I think at first when I saw it,
the base itself, that's a memorial.
Yeah.
But the thing inside, I do have the Commanders did work up a couple of designs, and I do have a couple of them. Here was the first one that they tried to get past everybody.
That's Sean Tyler,
defensive safety man.
Safety man.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, that one didn't work out, so I'm glad that they didn't go with that.
So no, I mean, look, I just feel like if they would have put a little bit more details, even if they didn't have game use, if they would have just threw a Reebok jersey on there. And again, this is me nitpicking, but if they would have threw a Reebok jersey and taped the face mask,
the face mask,
right?
That was Sean Staple.
It still would have gotten a negative reaction because that's just what people do.
Well, I mean, it looks like a department store mannequin.
But if you notice today, and this is not on you, Jesse, because I know that you reacted when you saw it.
Yeah,
and you're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So this is not a knock on you by any means. I think once people realized that the family was actually involved in this and the family helped design this and put this together, I think that most logical people was like, all right, my opinion at this point doesn't matter because it was for them. They were happy,
right?
But I still would have made the details a little bit better because at the end of the day, this is Sean Taylor and it's what he deserves. But again, my opinion doesn't matter because it wasn't for me; it was for the family. So I'm good with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at first glance, I probably overreacted a little bit, but I was really upset. I thought it was a sham. I thought it was a put together like a high school or no, like a elementary school project that somebody did. I mean, you saw in our text thread, I hadn't been so disgusted in this team. I've always had to, kind of the team's back, especially the front office with Jason Wright and everything. And then I kind of calmed down a little bit and I kind of realized, and one thing I did know that Sean wore soccer cleats. So the people that are flipping out about it, that's
he wore soccer
cleats that he did wear. And then when I found out, Jackie and his family were involved in the art piece, I think they could have and should have done things a little bit different. Like you said, Keith, with the tape face mask was a Sean Taylor staple.
Yes.
But what they could have done, and I think it would be pretty easy to do, was have the the art piece. And I understand, you know, they want Sean Taylor with the uniform, the helmet, and everything in the football gear, and it symbolizes that he's still here, but he's not here. And I totally get that. But what they should have did the most iconic Sean Taylor moment of laying him out, diving for that end zone. It could have definitely
cool.
easily have been done.
For a display. Go ahead.
All right. Well, here's the second idea that they sent along. Go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
I was going to say, for a display, I can see why they didn't do it, because obviously you can't really enclose that. But that particular thing is something,
You're a billionaire. You can do. Yeah, you can.
I know. Make it a little bit bigger, maybe just a little bit bigger.
But I think the perfect move for that exact pose that you're talking about, that exact play, would be a statue, because you're not going to focus. Because let's all be honest here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest here. Statues, I'm afraid of them, because most of them don't look like the people. They look terrible. And if this
helmet
team
takes care of that.
Statue, the helmet takes care of that.
Yeah.
In that position, you're not focused on the face. You're focused on the iconic move.
Yeah,
it's
the moment.
Yeah, the moment. Right. And so that is something that they can put together when they actually get a permanent stadium. That's obviously why they didn't go the statue route, because they're not going to remove it.
Obviously, why is because Snyder's going to sell the team, and he ain't putting out the money for something like that.
Okay, well that very well could be true as well.
Because I could see a whole statue garden of like John Riggins busting around the end with that dolphin hanging off of him down at the bottom, right?
Well, you can tell me that case was cheap, though. That case, no.
I like the case.
Here's the other thing: if they did that all around the stadium and then they started to actually start to retire some of them, like 28, 44, 81. Yeah, if they did that all around the stadium, that would be pretty cool. But here's the second option that they sent out. I don't know if that was going to fly too much.
Sean Taylor,
loving memory.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
What is wrong with you?
Just the Commanders. You said it.
I think that's a great idea, though. I think though that now we should lay the Sean Taylor memorials to rest
until the new owner comes along, and then we can get a sculpture garden, because that
maybe do something for the 20th or 25th year.
Correct. Yeah, like we've done enough, and I feel bad for saying that. But I just feel like when you
think of the family,
much,
every other year
when
we bring them up here and
much,
remind
it just
them.
looks like you're trying too hard. And I think at this point they don't need to try too hard. Just whatever it is that you do, make sure that you do it right. And
I think they missed it here, and it sucks. It was a perfect moment to win some good faith with the fan base. They just could have did it a little bit different. And
shout out. And shout out to the team too for using, and I knew that they would, because when you're at the stadium, you hear them they've done, interviews when we had, all the alumni and we were celebrating,
real Redskin.
They use the Redskins name. They don't shy away from it anymore. Good. And so I knew that they would, but shout out at the fact that they did, and
you can't take
that's a positive, because they're not allowing the history to be erased. It may not be able to be broadcasted for certain reasons, but at least when we're at our home at FedEx, we can still feel like, that was history.
Well, so, that's who he played for. I hate to use the term, but whitewashing history is just as bad as, you can't ignore it.
Right.
It's just there.
Another thing they could have done, which is it's the iconic, it's a photograph of Sean, kneeling down at practice where, he's got his helmet down there.
Right.
You guys know what I'm talking about. That could have been something like that too, where, everybody knows that photo.
And the good news is they can still do things like that.
Yeah, let's get Jeff Bezos to do that when he buys the team. All right, I don't mean to rush things along, but we do have a guest coming along, and I do have to get out of here shortly. So let's do some of these butt pats and head smacks. I am way behind on my things here.
Butt pats, attaboy, head smacks. Get out of here.
All right, Keith, who's your first offensive butt pat of the day? I bet I know who it is.
Yeah, this could go around, but I absolutely love my guy Brian Robinson.
Maniac, man. He gets better and better every game.
Unbelievable. I mean, the guy, if he's not running the ball, smashing into people and dragging dudes, he's catching the ball, making
a newfound
still
skill.
Dragging people. Like, my God, man.
It was caught 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then getting a 12-yard run, man.
It's just it's unreal. I'm happy to see it. I love the guy. I want him to keep pressing forward. But, I give love to Antonio Gibson, too, because, again, they're both two different style runners, but it's working.
The plan is
a great
working.
1-2 combination.
The plan is working.
Look, there could be a three-headed monster growing with Jonathan Williams, man. He got
all he ever does is go forward.
Carry, a fucking 9 yards of carry,
Every time he gets a chance, he shows
4
out.
yards because Gibson did get a little banged up yesterday, and so Jonathan Williams came in. But yeah, man, shit.
And just real quick, sorry, I know we're on a rush. Okay. When I have an Eagles fan text me after that Robinson Jr. touchdown.
Yes.
And he says to me, Robinson is going to be a pain in the NFC East side for years to come. And my response was, yeah, I love that guy, old school runner. Now, in August, I was talking about this dude to these guys, and they had no idea who he was. They're like, who's Brian Robinson Jr.? Right? I said, you guys are going to recognize who this guy is. Unfortunately, he got shot, and he's going to be out 4 weeks. But, eventually you guys are going to know who this dude is. And then his exact reply back was, you said that before the season started. Damn it. And I was like, yeah, he hasn't gotten much touchdown love this season, but he's been huge at helping extend drives and blah, 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 blah. But Eagles fans are also noticing. There's people noticing this guy. I'm telling you, we got something special here. And not to cut Gibson short, because I think what's special is this 1-2 combination. This run game is part of the reason why we're winning football games.
There's two reasons.
I gotta say,
run game,
Eagles fans noticing our player.
That's why I said one.
Saying that my dinner looks good to me. So okay, and I also say this: we need to come up with a nickname for him, and I'm going to put forth the locomotive. The locomotive. That motherfucker goes around the end, man. He looks like a train.
I had put out like a semi truck yesterday. The semi.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
the semi.
And that hat that he wore,
a semi ass because he got
so absurd. It was so absurd.
It's
but
so
I want
obnoxious.
one so bad.
The hat, I love that.
Yeah,
it's so obnoxious.
It was raining. What do you want?
Look, everybody's they're wearing the hats on NFL Live right now as we speak.
There you go. All right, so the hat is a big thing.
Why is this?
Because the hat are gonna.
Because it's new.
Who the hell knows? Honest to God, I don't know. Everybody does. You sound like the last generation.
God damn it, these kids! Why do they wear their hats so big?
Whatever. Who gives a fuck? All right, Jesse, who's your first offensive butt pat of the day?
It's the offensive line, man. Again, second week in a row. They were given Heineke time. They were just exploding off the ball, making big holes for Brian Robinson and Jonathan Williams and even Antonio Gibson to have a big day in the run game, man. I think the time that they've had together, they've really been cohesive, and they are now, starting to, actually look like a fucking offensive line. Rather, earlier this season, it was a sieve. I think hopefully that Trey Turner injury isn't a big deal. But Shaquille Charles,
don't hear his name.
Shaquille Charles came in and did a really good job. But this entire O-line stepped up after we talked so much shit earlier this season by letting Flowers go and Sheriff, even the grades of Turner and Norwell were really good last year, and you could tell that Turner was hurt in the beginning of the season, but he's really stepped up and starting to play very well. So they get my butt pat.
Attaboy. All right, my offensive butt pat is going to go to another entire unit. I'm going to give it to the tight ends as a whole. I thought they had an awesome game.
They're blocking their ass off too. Bates and even Cole Turner. Yeah. Cole Turner was leveling some people yesterday.
Yeah, they were. They were playing some excellent football yesterday. And Bates gets the touchdown. That's great. I think that the one negative I could give him was that one play that Cole Turner dropped the ball. I think that Heineke was going for Cam Sims about 3 yards behind him, and he jumped in the way and tried to catch that pass, and it knocked it down. And that stalled the drive. But, I thought the tight ends have been playing great. They played great yesterday. We need that kind of play playing against New York because they play the exact same kind of football that we play. So you got to beat them to the punch, and you got to take Daniel Jones.
And they got a defensive line that will come after you.
That's right. So I'm going to give my attaboy to the tight ends. All right, Keith, who's your first head smack from the offense?
Get out of here.
What?
Yeah, you're muted.
You're muted, but I'm pretty sure he said Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, I was going to say, I got to go with the obvious on this one, Taylor Heineke. No explanation. Everyone saw the game.
It's kind of hard to throw a guy. It's kind of hard to do that with a guy who got 2 touchdown passes. But, I get it.
No, he should have had 3.
Yards,
should have had 3.
Should have had 3. Maybe he could have had something like, 140 yards.
He just made some boneheaded decisions in this game, and luckily we still came out a winner.
Listen, like I said, he started off the game so well too, and it was like 5-5. The second drive, he completed his first 2 passes of the second drive, and then it went downhill from there. And
he threw that pick.
Trying to bite off more than he could chew. Right before halftime, just throw the ball to your checkdowns. You had 2 wide open checkdowns to get yourself to get the team into field goal range, but you leave points on the field.
You leave points, especially when they took the ball back.
Yeah, you leave points on the field by missing Terry McLaurin wide open in the end zone, and you leave points on the field by throwing the interception. So my head smack is going to go to Taylor Heineke too. Play better.
We're going to make it a resounding to all 3 of us, and I'm sure that everybody else that's listening and watching.
The Hivers don't watch this show. Yeah,
no, the Hivers they don't. They'd be all buzzing around us right now. All right, so how about defense? Okay, Jesse, who's your first defensive butt pat?
Yeah, Jamin Davis, man, I love the guy. He is a missile on the field. He's everywhere. Not a competition.
All right,
so he got me though.
You got me on Taylor Heineke. You can say Jamin Davis too, man.
No. I appreciate the Jamin Davis. That's who I was going to go for because I try not to go with the obvious. But shout out to that defensive line and Kendall Fuller for catching that interception.
So which one? Who's your butt pat?
Fuller stepped up big yesterday. He played very well.
Who? What? It was John Allen that put his hand in the air, right?
No, Daron Payne.
Oh,
yeah, he put his left hand up.
Left hand up. Yep.
And left hand up. There you go. I thought it was Allen. It was Payne. Okay. Give it to Payne then, because Payne made that happen. Yeah. Ball got up in the air. Kendall Fuller just caught it, and great, we won.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I would like to give it to Kendall Fuller for making the game-winning play, but he was so invisible. The bottom line of the hypotenuse will be handled this week, Scott. You can bet on that. At this very moment, I can't even remember his name because he never got his name called yesterday because he didn't do anything wrong, and that's our rookie cornerback that was coming in playing in place of what the hell's his name? His name?
It was Christian Holmes. I was going to give him
Christian Holmes.
I was going to give him a hat tip if you did. Wrong one. But he had a 15-yard face mask, but other than that, he held his own. Yeah,
he did.
So kudos to him.
He did. And I mean, granted, that's not the best passing attack, but it doesn't make any difference, man. Mm. He played well. He played well enough that you didn't hear his name getting picked on. And so I'm going to give him my defensive like that. All right. Defensive head smacks. Keith, what do you got?
Defensive head smacks?
Yep.
As you can tell, I didn't put any thought into this.
All right, Jesse, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to say, and don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying because they got ran on. I'm going to say the defensive line.
I feel bad even doing that.
Yeah, I do. I kind of feel gross. I kind of feel gross doing it, but you got gassed a little bit yesterday. But you still, in the end, you stepped up when you need to. You only allowed the defense only allowed 13 points. So it's kind of icky giving them that, but just to give somebody something.
All right. The only one that I'm going to give is because, they did get kind of beat up a little bit there in the running game, but like I said earlier, they managed to disperse the power of it all so that it all washed out to nothing for the most part. But I forgot who the hell I was going to say. Oh, David Mayo. Just simply David Mayo for no other reason except getting burned on that play. And not just getting burned on that play, but getting burned on that play and then going, when you got burned.
He was a little crybaby.
Oh, darn it. So, David Mayo, he's going to get out of here. But don't feel bad, dude. You've been playing well this year. All right. I do believe that we do have a champion here. Let me go ahead and find it. Did I bring up some music for the champion? I don't know if I did or not.
Give me a second and I'll bring him in.
All right. We're going to go get our champion.
Hold on, let me turn that down.
All right, wait. Go ahead. I gotta leave them.
The defense, I think this might piss him off. That game might piss him off. So excuse my language. There he is.
Right. There he is, champion,
man of the hour.
All right, that is Delran Youth Football 75-pound division champion, center Cameron Gray. How are you, sir?
Good.
Doing well. How's it feel to be a champ?
Very good.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So tell us about the feeling at the final whistle when you guys knew that you won the game. What were you thinking about at that time?
I don't know.
Pizza. Were you thinking about pizza?
Probably.
Were you happy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the final score of the game?
19-0.
19.
Y'all
just mopped the floor with them.
That's pretty good. So now
that's really good.
You play center, right?
Yeah.
So you snap the ball.
Yep.
That's an important position.
Very important.
I'll tell you this. Everybody thinks it's the guy who holds the ball that is the most important guy on the field, but real football gets played right down there in the trenches where you are. Now, let me ask you this. In this championship season, Cameron Gray, is there a specific play that you had this year that stands out in your mind?
Good asking.
Yeah. Did you make a good play? You got a good play you remember?
What was your favorite play of the year?
Twins right 18 sweep.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
That's
All right.
That's a good one right there.
I wasn't asking for the call, but
that.
that's great. So did you pancake anybody this year? You know what a pancake is, right?
Yeah.
All right. Did you get anybody with a good pancake this year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's good.
All right, let me tell you. I'm the old guy, right? See my white beard? I'm the old guy. So I'm going to teach you some old guy football terms that as an offensive lineman, you need to know. Slobber knocker. Right? Slobber knocker. Okay? That's when you come off the line and you drill somebody so hard that he just goes slobber all over the doggone place. So there you go. Word number one, slobber knocker. Word number two, this one's a rough one. A snot bubbler. You pop somebody so hard, nothing happens but a bubble of snot comes out of his nose while he's laying on the ground, flopping around like a fish.
Are you all done?
No, that's how an offensive lineman has to play football.
All right, got one more for you. That trophy. Did y'all that trophy does that go to the team or do y'all each get a trophy like that?
We all get a trophy.
Oh yeah, that thing was about as big as you are. Can you even hold that thing up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. You
That's
could
cool.
probably use that to work out and get stronger for next year. So how did you like your first season of football?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Are you gonna keep playing? I can't hear you. Keith must have. What was that?
He's still thinking about it. He's got basketball season coming up, right? Oh, Keith muted him.
You're not saying that?
No, he said say something mean about me, didn't he? Yeah, go ahead, tell the truth.
Yep.
Yep.
I told you. Are you going to keep playing after this year? Are you going to keep playing football after this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
You
job,
got
good
basketball season though.
Well,
right?
On behalf of the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, we would like to say congratulations. You want to cherish these moments as a kid. I just remember when I was your age playing sports. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's a truly special thing. So enjoy it. Congratulations. It's well deserved, and keep going and kicking butt, my little man.
That's right. Next year, if you win again, they'll give you a shoe contract. And that big bucks. Congratulations, Cameron.
Thank you.
You're welcome, big man. Thanks for coming on with us. And that was Cameron Gray, the champion.
He doesn't want to leave. There he is.
He said, you know what? You know what, Dad? He said, I can handle this for the rest of the time.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Here, let me move you around here. Dang it. Look what I've done here.
Yeah, no, it's kudos. Those who haven't played sports don't, understand how hard it is to go out there and play as a team, and to go out there and win, because there's other teams that are trying to fight for the same thing that you are. So when it does happen, it's a good feeling, and it provides good memories, and you got a proud papa standing right next to you. So kick him in the shins for us, and then give him a big hug afterwards.
That's right, because he's going to have to bend down to hold his shin so you can get a hold of his beard. That's right. Hey, it teaches you how to play as a team, and that's important in this world. Yep. Congratulations, and you have a great evening, my friend.
Thanks.
Welcome. Well, how much time we got there, John?
Well, I got about 5 minutes to wrap this show up here. Go ahead, put Keith back on so he can hear what we have to say with this here, young fella.
Yeah, go ahead, put your daddy back on.
Yeah. We're going to have there we go. Who says we don't have guests? Who says we don't have guests on this show?
Yeah, we got the we got even a better guest than our boys over at the bunker, who just had Jason Wright on, but we had the man of the hour, Cameron Gray.
Cameron Gray, a champion, a true champion.
Yeah. So while Andy and Freddie get Jason on their podcast, I'd pick Cameron Gray over Jason Wright anytime.
Right. So you got the podcast over in the UK going. Right, like I know you're president of the Commanders and all, but you ever won a championship in New Jersey?
Yeah, he's a man of many words, let me tell you.
Well, that was fine.
That was
great. He should definitely reap the rewards of his victory. That's awesome. All right, so we got any final thoughts? We got Friday coming up. We're going to talk about the Giants. You got anything left you got to say about the game yesterday? Tress Way, dude. That guy is awesome, isn't he? He dropped that pump on the 4-yard line. And
not only that, but that penalty at the end of the game, he totally faked that shit.
Oh, did he really?
Sold that shit. Like, yeah.
That's our boy.
And when he got back up, he said, "Golly."
Yeah.
They done ran into my foot.
He's such a dork. But listen, to all the people that are
modeling a Sean Taylor jersey.
Yeah, to all the people that listen to this podcast and follow the Washington Commanders. And if you don't follow the Washington Commanders, what the fuck are you doing listening to this podcast? Go out and vote for
television
the Pro Bowl.
Sensation Keith Gray.
Go out and vote for our guys for the Pro Bowl. Tress Way is second in punters. And this is total. This is not the NFC. This is in Pro Bowl voting. Tress Way is second. John Allen is eighth. John Allen should be number one, and it should not be close. Deron Payne is ninth for defensive tackles. Terry McLaurin is seventh for wide receivers, and Cam Cheeseman is seventh for long snappers. In the NFC,
he tells on himself a lot, doesn't he?
In the NFC, Terry is third for Pro Bowl voting. Allen is fourth, and Payne is fifth. We need to change that. We need to get our guys that deserve to be in the Pro Bowl in the Pro Bowl. So go out and vote. You can vote as many times as you can.
Right. It's not even a real election.
Get Terry to the game. Get Allen.
It's not even a game.
Get Payne.
There is no game.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Get them the accolades that they deserve. Actually, they are playing a game.
I would tune. Do they? I thought they got rid of the game. No, I thought that's what they said. They're getting rid of the game.
I would challenge them
if they just painted their numbers on little plastic men and played electric football for 3 hours. I'd watch that. All right, gentlemen, I got to get out of here. I will see you guys on Friday afternoon. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Commanders
audio
out.
Yeah, and thanks for all of our guys in the chat, and check us out on Twitter and all the platforms and YouTube and all that shiznittle.
Right. Now, Friday with Scott, we are going to be sending you, you'll get your travel orders here shortly.
Yeah, we're going to go to New York.
All right, Captain Gustavia will be picking you up, and we'll be sending. Is it in New York? I thought we were
in
home.
New York.
All right, so we're going to be sending you to New York, the Big Apple. Scott, make sure you wear your walking shoes.
And I got to step up my game and get Jason right because I don't know how the Brit got him.
Yeah.
But
He
I
asked.
know how the Brit got him. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes, he said, hey, bro, you want to come in on the podcast? All right. And Jason said, you're not going to do any like crap like Keith does. You're not going to be touching me or anything, are you? So anyway.
yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Later.